They owned half the world. Spain commanded an empire spanning 3 continents, drowning in gold and silver. Yet somehow, they went bankrupt. 4 times. How do you lose everything when you have everything? The answer: destroyed an empire and rewrote history. 1492. While Columbus sailed west, something equally momentous happened in Granada. The last Muslim stronghold in Spain fell to Ferdinand and Isabella. Spain was finally unified. But here is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Their daughter Joanna married into the Habsburg dynasty. Their grandson Charles inherited Spain, the Netherlands, Austria, parts of Italy, and then the Americas. By accident, Spain became a superpower. One family controlled more territory than any European power in history. The question nobody asked: could anyone actually govern all this? Charles tried. He spent his entire reign traveling between his kingdoms, fighting wars, suppressing rebellions. The empire was not designed. It was inherited. And that fundamental flaw would eventually tear it apart. Now imagine you are Philip II, Charles's son. You inherit the most powerful empire on earth. Silver flows from Potosi in Bolivia. Gold arrives from Mexico. Manila galleons bring silk and spices from Asia. You are the richest monarch alive. So why are you always broke? Here is what the textbooks miss. Spain never developed manufacturing. If you drop a like on this, you will remember this crucial detail. When silver arrived, Spain bought everything from foreigners. French cloth, Italian weapons, Dutch ships. The silver passed through Spanish hands and landed in everyone else's pockets. Economists call this the resource curse. Spain had it 3 centuries before anyone named it. The empire was hemorrhaging wealth while appearing invincible. And Philip's response made everything catastrophically worse. Let me shift your perspective entirely. Philip was deeply religious. Obsessively so. He saw himself as God's champion against Protestantism. The Netherlands, his richest territory, was turning Protestant. His solution? The Inquisition and military occupation. Dutch merchants, bankers, and craftsmen fled. They took their skills to England and the new Dutch Republic. Think about that for a second. Spain drove out the very people who knew how to build economies. But wait. It gets worse. 1492 was not just Columbus and Granada. It was also the expulsion of Spanish Jews. 92 years later, Philip expelled the Moriscos, converted Muslims who ran Spain's agriculture. The empire systematically removed its most economically productive populations in the name of religious purity. Ideology was literally bankrupting them. 1588. The Spanish Armada. You know how this ends. But you probably do not know what it really cost. 130 ships. 30,000 men. Philip bet everything on crushing Protestant England. The defeat was not just military. It shattered the myth of Spanish invincibility. Suddenly, smaller nations realized they could fight back. The Dutch intensified their rebellion. England began raiding Spanish treasure fleets. French Protestants grew bolder. One naval disaster created a cascade of challenges across every front. Philip responded by borrowing more money. Interest rates climbed. Italian and German bankers charged Spain more because the risk had increased. The empire was now paying for its own decline. Each defeat made the next war more expensive, which made the next defeat more likely. The death spiral had begun. But here is what nobody tells you. Everything I have described so far. That was just the setup. The real collapse happened because of something far more insidious. Spain's government structure was medieval in a modern world. Each territory kept its own laws, taxes, and parliaments. Castile, the heartland, bore almost the entire imperial burden while Aragon and the other kingdoms contributed almost nothing. If you want to see how this plays out, make sure you are subscribed. When Castilian peasants could not pay more taxes, the government debased the currency. Inflation exploded. By 1640, a loaf of bread cost 10 times what it had cost 50 years earlier. The Spanish people were starving while their king commanded 3 continents. This was the moment the empire truly began dying. And the response was civil war. 1640. Catalonia rebelled. Portugal, united with Spain for 60 years, broke away permanently. Naples revolted. Sicily revolted. The empire was tearing itself apart from within. And here is the darkest irony. Spain still had its American colonies producing silver. But it did not matter anymore. The silver went directly to foreign creditors without ever reaching Spanish soil. Genoese bankers controlled Spanish finances. Dutch merchants dominated Spanish trade. French armies occupied Spanish territory. Drop your prediction in the comments. How long can an empire survive when it no longer controls its own economy? Philip IV watched helplessly as everything collapsed. His son Charles II would inherit a corpse. The most powerful empire in history had committed economic suicide while possessing more wealth than any nation on earth. 1700. Charles II died without an heir. The resulting war lasted 13 years. Spain lost the Netherlands, Italy, and Gibraltar. But here is the revelation that changes everything. The empire did not fall because of bad luck or stronger enemies. It fell because of choices. The choice to prioritize religious conformity over economic productivity. The choice to extract wealth rather than create it. The choice to maintain medieval structures in a changing world. The choice to spend on wars instead of investing in people. These same patterns have destroyed empires throughout history. Rome made them. The Ottomans made them. The Soviets made them. Spain possessed unlimited resources and squandered them all through the same fatal combination of ideology, extraction, and institutional rigidity. The treasure of the Americas became a curse. Spain lingered on as a second-rate power for another 2 centuries. The American colonies eventually broke free in the early 1800s. By 1998, Spain lost its last significant colonies,